this. Hello, hello, hello. All right, it's pretty decent, right? Decent stream going. I am back in my natural environment. I don't know. My preferred environment, let's say. I can never figure out, like, these headphones always look crooked to me. Does this look crooked to you? Um, anyway, I'm back. Been, again, just trying to mess around with cameras and lighting and, you know, get my stream looking decent. Anyone interested in checking out the setup, just let me know and I will happily show you. I am running a Canon Rebel T6. It's like pretty much entry level camera. Doesn't even have like a mic input on it, but it's got nice picture quality, I think. I got a little light over on the side there just to give me a little bit better lighting, and I'm running a green screen behind me. I got a couple lights. It's a pretty minimal setup, I guess. Minimal? I could be more minimal, but you don't need to go crazy to just start streaming. You really don't need anything. You just need a computer, essentially. All right, here we go. Yesterday I dove into Blender, and I think I'm going to stay in Blender because now I really want to figure this thing out. I still don't understand why it's not playing the smoke, and I'm kind of over it at the moment. We'll see if I run into any bigger issues. By the way, the Hawkcast is up, and we just put, oh, it's not even there. We just put another episode up there. If you see here, it's the NPR challenge. Stomp the Monster is up. And so we had a bunch of 6th grade students that submitted some podcasts to NPR for a student podcast challenge, 2 of which actually earned an honorable mention. So that's pretty awesome. This one, Stomp the Monster, did not earn honorable mention, but it was still pretty rockin'. It's pretty cool. These students, a couple students, interview Seth Grumet from Stomp the Monster, which is a 5K charity event that raises funds for people diagnosed with cancer. Seth Grumet is a cancer survivor, so check it out. It's a pretty good one. Anyway, that's enough about the Hawkcast podcasting network. It's not even up here, so I got to go back to YouTube. Here's the Blender Guru guy. You'll probably see weird, just strange things on my YouTube feed here because I watch all sorts of just weird, crazy videos. I don't know if you're like me. Okay, here he is. He's back. Let's set this to double speed. And let's see.
Is delete the default cube just by hitting delete, and I'm going to replace it by hitting Shift A. Remember to add a new object. And then underneath mesh, we've got the base meshes that you can start with. So you want to start with something that looks closest to what you want to create, which in this case is a donut. So this one,
Torus.
this one is the closest match, a torus. So when you click the torus, you can see you get this, and it's okay, but it looks a little thin. It's a little bit weak for a donut. Thankfully, though, in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a box, and if you click the box, you can see you get settings, and this is going to change the look of the torus. And by the way, if you don't see the box, it's because you accidentally performed an action after you added the torus. So if I was to, for example, click on the donut, even though it's already selected, it's gone, and I can't get those settings back there. So some actions in Blender, you will get options immediately after you perform an action, but if you do another action, it clears it and you don't have those options anymore. Anyway, so with these options here, you can see I can change the resolution of the donut, and down here,
hello, hi. Hello, hi, hi, hello. Drew, I'm in Blender. I decided to go into Blender yesterday and just, it's a free program. Everyone can use it. So we're going to dive in and see if it works. I don't know. I still had issues yesterday with it, but hey, we're going to do it. This guy's making a donut, which is pretty much where I started off in C4D. I think one of the first things I made was a donut. So that's cool. Here he is. He's putting a torus in, so I'm going to go into Blender there and put a torus. This was supposed to make a flaming monkey yesterday, but a monkey head, and I couldn't figure out. I can't see the smoke. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to just do new. Well, maybe it's because it was in like a wrong. No, I'm not going to save that. Okay, click on this. Delete, and Shift A brings up this. I want a mesh and I want a torus. That's pretty much where he's at. And he says that down here there is a, is it this? Yeah. This little box down at the bottom, the corner there, once I add the mesh, I can go in and mess with it. But he's telling me I can't do that later, which that doesn't seem right. You should be able to change these properties anytime. Okay, that's fun. Major radius. Ooh. Yes. Center mouse button will orbit. Okay, looks solid to me. Pretty good so far.
Here underneath major radius, I could change the size of it, how thick or how fat the donut is. So speaking of the radius and the size, it's a good idea when you're building something in Blender to start with the correct real-world scale. So this major radius here is saying that this is 0.4 meters. The radius, so diameter, is double that, which means that this is currently an 80-centimeter donut, which is almost half me. It's a big donut, very big. By the way, if you are American and you would like to use a different unit system, you can do it over here in the properties underneath units. You can change your unit system to imperial, and then it will use feet and inches and penny farthings or whatever crazy units you guys have come up with. You can use that if you want, but for the tutorial, I'm going to stick to metric. So this size here, we want it to match the real world. So the research that I did says that most donuts are about 10 centimeters, right? Like about that big, right? So a radius is half of that, so therefore this should be 5 centimeters. So if I just typed in here 5 centimeters, we would get the correct thing, which is 0.05 meters. And then if I adjusted my minor radius, I mean, there's obviously no measurement for this, but like, you know, how fat the donut is totally up to you. If you want it to look like chubby, you can, go like that, but...
Okay, I guess that's... Hey, look, my major radius is 0.5. I did that without even... Look at that, man. How about that? Oh, no. He wants a 0.05. Ah, I thought I had it right. Okay, 0.05. Okay. What the? Hold on. Like that? Okay, you say so, guy. Oh, I clicked off of it, and he said, don't click off of it. Whatevs. There it is. That's going to be my donut, bro. Let's go.
I don't know, I think something around like 0.28. I think that looks pretty good. Maybe 0.26. I think that's what I used previously the times that I did it. But anyways, like that. There we go. That's the one. That's the size I'm going to use. And then the other thing is the resolution of our donut. Now, you might think that you would want to use as high a resolution as possible, right? Because I remember I did that when I was starting out with Blender. Every new object I added, I used the most vertices I could, most highest resolution, not realizing that actually what you want to use is the lowest resolution and then use a subsurf modifier, which we'll get to next, to smooth it out, because then you've got less vertices to work with. It's easier to work with a lower res mesh than a higher res. Anyway, point is we want to set this to something low, but something that will at least have the correct overall shape that we want. So, something like this. And also, I want to keep the size of these faces, I want to keep them close to square, like as square as possible, I want to say. And you're not to know it because you're just starting out, but the reason for this is later on down the road we're going to use displacements, and it's much better if you've got square faces for displacements. So anyway, something like that is pretty good. So these are the things I'm going to use.
Okay, I messed it up. I can never get that thing back, he's saying. It's got to be over here, though, right? You would think that there's a way to modify that stuff over there. If not, then forget about it. This program's ridiculous. Like, really? You can't... That seems... That seems absurd to me that you wouldn't be able to go in afterwards and edit the shape. if that's the case, I mean, dude, then there's no there's no comparison between this and C4D. There just isn't. Anyone that says it is like delusional. Is a good word for it. Delusional. There's gotta be a way. You're telling me you can't go in and edit that shape now? What? That turns it into points. Dude. I can't believe that. All right, I'm still going with it, man. I'm not going to be defeated. 25 is always... Okay, that's pretty square. I'd say that's square. Alright, whatevs. It's just a tutorial.
A second to use it, and we're done. Okay, that's it. You have the donut ready to go. So we've added an object, but let's say you want to change the shape of that object, because that's a very common thing you want to do when you're building 3D creations, is you want to tweak it to look how you want. So right now, this is the most perfect donut that ever existed in the history of the world. You could have like a donut competition, and no one would ever be able to make as perfectly round and smooth shape as this, right? Because computers make things that are perfect, and in the real world they're not. So that's why imperfection is the virtual perfection, which is a quote by someone, but it's very true. I don't know who said it, but it's very true. So what we want to do is make it look a little bit lumpy, a little bit misshapen. So to do that, we need to enter into edit mode. So if you go to the top corner, top left corner, you can see we are in object mode, and if you change that to edit mode, you will see that we get this, which makes it look like a grid, like a cage has appeared over it. Or the hotkey for this is tab, because this is a very common action. To switch between object mode and edit mode is tab. By the way, when you are in edit mode, the only thing you can do, the only thing you can click on is within the object itself. Like if I'm in edit mode on that, and I try to click on the lamp or the camera, you can see nothing happens. The only thing I can click on is the object itself. So just something to keep a note of. So while in edit mode, you can see that as I'm clicking around, I can click on these little dots here. And each of these dots basically is the shape of the donut, as you can probably guess, right? And if I use the same hotkeys that you remembered from the last one, G to grab, if I was to G and grab this up, you can see that I would make a spike in my donut there. Now I don't want just one singular spike, because that would be horrible. And I also don't want to, like if I want to make this donut look lumpy, I don't want to go like this one, and then this one, and then this. Like that's a lot of work, and it's not even going to look very good. What I want to do instead is I want to like grab one and then like have it affect the vertices around it. So there's a tool for that, and it's proportional editing. So at the top of the screen there, there's a little button, or the hotkey for that is O to turn that on and off. And then when I do that, if I use the same shortcut G to move this one vertice, you'll see that now as I move it, the rest of the donut comes with it. But it only looks like the whole donut's coming with it. If I was to scroll up, like scroll on my mouse right now, just scroll up or down until you can actually see what's this little circle appear around. So if you scroll up, it'll get smaller. So anyways, if I do this, you can see that I can affect the area of vertices around it, right? So what I want to do is just I want to make it look lumpy, so around that sort of area, and I'm going to hit Z, because I'm moving it, and I want to move it along the Z axis, so it's just going up. And now you can see I've got part of the donut, which is a little bit lumpy. That's actually probably a little bit too lumpy. So let me just undo that, and let's try it again. Move it up. Oh, come on. It's cleared my thing because I undid it anyway. So something like just a little bit lumpy, and then I'm going to grab like this one here, and I'm going to move that down a little bit. So now I've got a weird little lumpy bit of donut, and I'm just going to like misshape the rest of it, right? Because no donut is perfect, although they do try. Just make it look a little bit squishy, because otherwise it's going to look like a I don't know, like a water park, right? Those little inflatable rings that you get.
What is he talking about? Okay. Tap goes into edit mode. Yep. Then press G. And then he says if you scroll the wheel up. What did I just do? I mean, that makes it pretty quick and easy, whatever that does. So I pressed G twice, and it did something. Then I pressed it again, and it got rid of that effect. Okay, so now if I press G on this thing, okay, it just grabs the point. Escape. I didn't make any change. This is proportion. Is that what he wants? Just click on that and it's proportional or something? Okay, proportional editing when you click that guy on. So if I press G. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, I see. I see. Proportional editing will edit whatever's inside the area of that circle. so strange with these camera views. Okay, G again. Did it do it? No. Okay. And then this move down here is like... Okay, so if I click on this one and press G and like drag you... Oh. Let's say this one. G. 2D animation software I can use for a project that you can draw on. This does it, it says. If you go to like File, New, see there's like 2D animation there. So give that a shot. I will not tell you to download or not download, but it's a free program. It's open source. And I mean, if you have space on your computer and you're cool with downloading it, I think it's, if you're really interested in it, give it a shot. Okay, that's going to be my donut because I'm ready to move on.
I'll never forget, as a kid, we go to the water park a lot, and yeah, there was like this ride called the Calypso Bay at Wet n Wild, Australia, and I used to love like stacking the rings on top of each other, and they kicked me out of the pool. They told me to get out because you're not allowed to stack the rings. But it was so fun. I wanted to stack them up and then be inside it and like roll around. But the lifeguards, who have nothing better to do, told me to get out of the pool. Anyway, so as you can see, I'm just grabbing parts of the mesh, I'm just moving it. You don't have to copy my exact motions as I'm doing this, just so you know. Just make your own misshapen donut. Don't copy mine. Follow your instincts. Make your own lumpy looking thing just by clicking G, etc. Anyways, like that.
This guy's
horrible,
fun at
weird,
least.
misshapen looking donut. That's what you want. You don't want a perfect looking donut. You want something that looks weird. So well done. You've made something weird. Now you're probably thinking, cool, but can we please get rid of the jagged look? Because it looks like you would cut your finger running across this donut. It's too jagged. So if you are in object mode, which is important, you have to be in object mode, and you were to right click your mesh, you have these settings, and at the top there you've got two settings which are very common: shade smooth or shade flat. So we're going to use smooth. So flat is used for things like buildings, flat planes, things like that, and smooth is for organic shapes like this one. And it's going to basically, where there's two faces.
Object mode, I think he said I have to be in. Yeah, what do you say? Right click, shade smooth. There you go, man. I'm like, I continually catch myself wanting to do like C4D commands. All right, it's fun. All right, cool. Whatever. I'll take it. I got a donut, right?
It's going to try to smooth them. Yeah, basically, and it'll try to make it look smooth. Now, you'll notice it does look smooth, but the edges of it, you can see it does still look sharp. So shade smooth is just like it's changing the way it looks, but it's not actually affecting the actual shape of it in any way. So if you want to actually make this higher res, what you need to do is use a subsurf modifier. So the modifiers are found in the properties. This is the properties here, by the way. We haven't really talked that much about properties, but it's this whole section on the right here. So if you click on the wrench spanner, I always get them confused. You can tell I've never got my hands dirty. I'm going to go with spanner, and this is the modifier panel, okay? So it's empty right now, but if you click on add modifier, you get this lovely list. And the one we are looking for is right down here where it says subdivision subsurf. And it's probably the most common effect that's used across all 3D software. What it does is it smooths out the mesh, right? And as a modifier, so what's good about modifiers is that it is what's called non-destructive, meaning that it's not applied. Like I can work on other parts of the scene, and then I can come back to the donut and go like, I want it to be smoother, and then I can change the smoothness. And then I can come back to it later and go, it's too smooth, I want to change it again. So you're not actually like, nothing is being applied, it's just, all the settings are kept there, so that you can come back and change them as you need to. So modifiers are fantastic. So what this subsurf modifier is doing is basically, if you look at each of these faces here, so this is what's called a face, and it's like when you've got 3 or more vertices, and you add a solid face between them. That's a face. I don't know how to explain it. But a subset modifier, what it's doing is it's adding like another grid between it, and it's taking like the average shapes of it. So like on the edge there, like where it was previously like sharp, it's doubled the resolution, and it's averaged it out to try to smooth it. So what you're looking at is one subdivision because that's the viewport setting. The render setting is what it will render at, right? So when we get to that stage, that's the setting it's going to use. So if I was to increase viewport, it's doing another subdivision over that. If I was to increase it again, it would make it even smoother and smoother and smoother. You don't want to go too high though, because the higher you go, the more graphics is going to be used to render it in your viewport or when you do your actual render. So keep it low, but 1 is fine for this. Okay, so well done. All we've got is a lumpy donut, and yeah.
Okay, so wrench tool, add a modifier, subdivision surface, and okay, I guess that did it. Oh yeah, look at that. I don't know. Yeah, it's getting smoother and smoother. That's fine. But he said we could do one. Let's do one. Use creases. That's fun.
Yeah, we did make a long video. So go ahead and join me in the next video, and we're going to make the icing for our lumpy donut.
Okay, here we go. Oh, I should make a playlist, right? I don't think I'm in the right... Yeah, I'm not in my right YouTube channel, but I'll make a playlist on... Gosh, commercials. PS5. Ooh. That's soon. What, did this guy get a haircut or something? I don't know. I don't know what his hair was like in the last video, but it looks different. Anyway, I'll make a playlist on MMS Media Center's YouTube channel when I get over there. Is this thing still set to 2 at least? Yeah. All right, so let's go.
Side on, but also I'm not selecting through the mesh. So first thing I want to show you is how to look directly side on, because this is kind of like freeform look and there's perspective things there, but sometimes when you're modeling you want to look dead on and like do like an intersection, like cut something in half. So I'm going to use number pad 1 and that will look front on to the mesh. You can also use number pad 3 and that's just the right hand side of that, and then number pad 7 will look top down. Get my keyboard shortcut list if you haven't got that already, that'll come in handy. But it's all there. Alternatively, the other way, if you don't have the number pad, you can just click up here, these little axes here. That's how you can look side on, front on, etc. Or, as I mentioned before as well, for people who don't have a number pad, the tilde hotkey, that key underneath escape, that also has this little pie menu, so you can go top, right, left. Or, there's actually a fourth way you could do it. This is the same hotkey, I believe, as ZBrush, but if you hold down Alt and then middle mouse drag, like if I drag up or if I drag to the right or left, it'll just snap you to the closest axis view, which is, there you go, there's 4 ways to do it now in Blender. There used to just be one, number pad, right? But anyways, Blender's more accessible now. We invite all colors into Blender now. The touch devices and styluses and everything. All right, so I'm looking front on right now. Now I want to select half the mesh, but I can't because I'm not able to see through it. So you can do that by going to the top there. There's a mode called X-ray mode. So X-ray, right? The hotkey for that, by the way, if you want, is Alt-Z. Alt-Z will just toggle between that mode there. So with that there, now I can drag a box over it and you can see I've selected.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. So much. Okay. So number pad 1. Yes. Alt-Z. No. Nope, that's my GeForce experience. So that's not gonna work. What was the other way? Oh, I gotta go back.
The top half of the mode. So X-ray, right? Styluses and everything. All right, so I'm looking front on right now. Now I want to select half the mesh, but I can't because I'm not able to see through it. So you can do that by going to the top there. There's a mode called X-ray mode. So X-ray.
Ah, I clicked on C4 date. Nope. 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 That's X-ray mode. Okay, I know. Use Alt-Z to use GeForce experience. Now, this guy has a different... He's looking at it differently than me. And I like that view. Like, with the mesh on there. How do you do that? Grrr. Oh, man. Okay. That's X-ray. That's shading. Ooh, that's interesting. What's that? Does it say viewport shading? Viewport shading material preview. This one is rendered preview. Okay, that's cool. Viewport shading solid. Wire edges. Background. What? X-ray. There's so many. Okay.
Right. The hotkey for that, by the way, if you want, is Alt-Z. Alt-Z will just toggle between that mode there. So with that there done, now I can drag a box over it, and you can see I've selected the top half of my...
Okay. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'll do top half. How do you know it's selected, dude? Grrr. This is so painful. Why is his, like...
like icing on top of it. So what I want to do is, I'm in object mode right now, but if I went into edit mode, this will enable me to, as we...
Duh. Gosh. Okay, I guess that's it. Now, number pad 1. Oh, right. Okay, so it's this thing up here is crucial.
mentioned in the last video, click on each of these vertices here. So I want to select half of my mesh. So if I was just to drag a box over it, you can see I'm selecting, but a couple problems. One, you can see that it's actually kind of hard to look like side on, but also I'm not selecting through the mesh. So first thing I want to show you is how to look directly side on, because this is kind of like freeform look and there's perspective things there, but sometimes when you're modeling you want to look dead on and like do like an intersection, like cut something in half. So I'm going to use number pad 1 and that will look front on to the mesh. You can also use number pad 3 and that's just the right hand side of that, and then number pad 7 will look top down. Get my keyboard shortcut list if you haven't got that already, that'll come in handy. But it's all there. Alternatively, the other way, if you don't have the number pad, you can just click up here, these little axes here. That's how you can look side on, front on, etc. Or, as I mentioned before as well, for people who don't have a number pad, a tilde hotkey, that key underneath escape, that also has these little pie menus, so you can go top, right, left. Or, there's actually a fourth way you could do it. This is the same hotkey, I believe, as ZBrush, but if you hold down Alt and then middle mouse drag, like if I drag up or if I drag to the right or left, it'll just snap you to the closest axis view, which is, there you go, there's 4 ways to do it now in Blender. There used to just be one, number pad, right? But anyways, Blender's more accessible now. We invite all colors into Blender now. The touch devices and styluses and everything. All right, so I'm looking front on right now. Now I want to select half mesh, but I can't because I'm not able to see through it. So you can do that by going to the top there. There's a mode called X-ray mode. So X-ray, right. The hotkey for that, by the way, if you want, is Alt-Z. Alt-Z will just toggle between that mode there. So with that there done, now I can drag a box over it and you can see I've selected the top half of my donut. So I want it to be the top half. Like you could go like that, but I want to make the icing, there's going to be like dribbling icing in the next part of the next video. We'll do the dribbling bit, but for now, just want to select the top part. So I want to duplicate this. So to do that, the hotkey is Shift D for duplicate. And when you do that, you'll notice immediately after that, it's duplicated and it's now following your cursor.
The hotkeys are killing me, man. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I feel like. Or maybe, wait, hold on. If I need to adjust my perspective, because I'm used to everything being control. So instead of control something, I feel like maybe they use the shift button instead. So instead of control D for duplicate, it would be shift D. Shift A, I'm pretty sure it was shift A that does add, right? Like either like add an object. So, okay. So I just closed out C4D and then I clicked it again. Okay. Shift D. Okay, cool. Now I got it. Good.
Now I don't want to click right now because then that will just place it randomly here. I want to cancel its movement, so I want to snap it back to where it was because I want it to be just resting on the donut. So I can do that by hitting escape or by right-clicking. Either of those functions will cancel a movement and it will now snap it back to its original location. So it's duplicate.
Got that? You don't want to do what I just did and click off of it. And press escape. Okay.
And it's now resting on top of the donut. So straight after that, I want to immediately make it its own object. So to do that, the hotkey is P. P for part of it to be separated. I don't know why it's P. It's been P forever. But P for penguin. That's a good way to remember it. I don't know why I said that. We're going to select selection. Okay, selection. All right. So now that I've done that, if you exit out of edit.
Again, like, how are you supposed to remember all this? P. It didn't work. Okay, P. Selection. P for separate.
Edit mode into object mode with tab, by the way. You can see we have 2 objects. Ta-da! And by the way, we haven't talked about the outliner, but it's this section in the top right-hand corner. It actually displays all of your objects. If you click this little drop-down, you'll see all the objects that are currently in your scene. So you can see we've now got 2 objects.
Okay, so tab is like changing camera view. Well, changing mode. Cool. There's a lot more to learn.
Called
There's a
Torus.
huge learning curve to Blender, I feel like. Maybe that's why C4D is the industry standard, quote unquote, because it's probably been around longer, and it just, I don't know, to me it makes sense. To me, none of this, like, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, guys. All right, it's 3 after, 11:03. What's 2 okay? I don't know. All right, hey, listen, I am going to cut out of here, and I did the same thing yesterday, so until further notice, here's what I'm doing. I'm canceling my 12 o'clock stream. What? My 12 o'clock stream, I should say. I think I said scream. I will not cancel my 12 o'clock scream. That's like tradition. I scream every day, 12 o'clock. I'm gonna cancel, at least for the next few days. It's not gonna be same as last time. Yeah, it's not gonna be too long. It's gonna be the next couple days. I have a couple of videos that I need to really bang out and get done. It's gonna take some time, and so I'm going to be spending the second half of my day editing videos. Almost done, but we got lots of cool stuff coming up at the end of this week into next week. There's talent shows, there's graduation videos, there's all sorts of stuff that we're getting done. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing those things, and that's what I'm working on. All right, so until tomorrow, I will be back 10:30. And I wish I could say that I would be watching more tutorials and stuff tonight, but until I'm done with these videos, I am swamped. So one of these days, I'm going to keep diving in on these things, and maybe I can wrap my head around Blender. Right now, it's a little overwhelming. So yeah, if you are downloading Blender, then you can dive into it, and maybe you could probably teach me a few things or two. But check out, maybe just like if you're looking for a 2D animation thing, Drew, check out, I don't know, some YouTube videos. All right? Okay. I will see you tomorrow. Was I like down here?